Tuesday morning, around 9.
Usually you don't hear them over here, and it was very close. And I looked out of the window and saw a plane, what seemed to be heading for buildings, because it seemed to be too low. It was hardly higher than some of the residential buildings around here.
And I was watching it and saying, it's going to hit. You don't hit this man standing next to it. I said, it's going to hit. And he said, no, it can't. And it did.
I heard it this morning. Yeah, it was very loud, and then I heard the bang, and I thought, oh, it must be my imagination. I didn't realize until I came out now what happened.
I just stood here, and I just couldn't stop looking.
He could have missed the Twin Towers. He chose not to.
I don't know that he did. I don't know what they did. All I saw was him do a sharp bank and go right into it.
The speculation was rife. People's instincts, an accident.
But second was not an accident.
They both had to be on purpose.
Just to the left? Is that what you saw? Well, it looked like a plane, and I was like, good God, I was like, another plane's that close, and then, you just saw that fireball, and everyone started screaming and shit.
We checked his tape.
Watch to the right of the building. You can see a plane fly in from the other side.
From the right?
Yes. Right over here, you see a plane cross. See it? Yeah. Starting to come in there.
Oh my God!
It's a
second explosion of the plane.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the second one.
What do you mean second one?
Yes,
second one explosion.
Two planes?
Yeah, look.
Look at the left side of the building.
I know, but was that a delayed bomb? No, was it a second plane?
It was a second plane. See the plane right there? And then it comes over here and hits the lower side. See?
Oh my God, there's two planes in here.
Two explosions.
Jeez. Man, I saw the first one hit, and then I went to the post office, came back, and I said, what's that burning? Oh, my God. This one that flew over there was a big passenger.
It was loud. It woke me up.
And it came from this side. That's what that high one is. Well, can you imagine being near there? That plane's being flown into?
My friend was down there talking to him on his cell phone. He's down there in the Wall Street area. He said he saw people jumping out of the windows.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They're not going to survive.
It's fucking incredible.
My apartment was moments away. I had to check the news. I thought the fires would burn themselves out. And the media coverage was full on.
My impression was the president has pretty much determined this is an act of terrorism.
But again, this is also President G.W. Bush, so let's not jump to any conclusions either. Let's just wait a little longer for some facts to come in.
Is it okay if a few of us start to assume this is a terrorist attack?
You can assume it. I just don't think that based on G.W. Bush talking about
Hitting the World Trade Towers is definitely a blow at the heart of America. I mean, it makes a statement by whoever did this.
And then I heard more horror on the radio.
It's gone.
I had to be on the street.
It's gone.
I felt helpless inside.
In it, and everybody working on it. It's gone.
It just started billowing more, suddenly billowing, and then it went big puff. It looked like things were beginning to settle.
This tower just collapsed. Well, in a total puddle of ash and debris, and completely. People just started weeping when that happened. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
I just hope they were able to evacuate.
How many people working there? 40,000 people?
Like that?
I don't know what the number
The news is saying like 40,000 between the two buildings.
The word on the street, the towers could withstand the impact of an airliner.
I mean, the bottom could survive. This one, it could.
Yeah.
This could.
There's a plane crash in Pentagon too. Pentagon.
But is that serious? Is that serious or no?
They're not saying that.
I mean, there's fire. Look at the flames, the intensity of the flames in those windows.
We hadn't given up hope.
Locked down in airspace across all of the U.S. Nothing's coming in or going out of the country.
There's another plane that was hijacked that's going to Washington.
Jesus Christ, have mercy. He says somewhere you gotta go. They canceled school.
I was in the bathroom when
I heard the plane go by. You did.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
There's no signal out here.
No fat trains? No trains, none.
I'm in this meeting, and someone comes in and says,
Depends where you live. No, it depends where you live. You live in Brooklyn, you'll walk across the Brooklyn Bridge.
The inevitable chaos ensued, and the word was the enemy.
But the point that's been made frequently today is the fact that we, A, don't know who our enemy is right now. We don't know who's attacking us, and B, it's not as if it's a country.
Slowly there was a realization. A once insular city, now entirely vulnerable. The shield of isolationism shattered. The city was bleeding.
There are other blood centers that can take you immediately. At St. Clair's Hospital on 52nd Street, the Red Cross building at 150 Amsterdam Avenue.
Most were dazed and confused.
The line?
Everyone wanted to help. One way of helping was to give blood. Lines formed at every hospital in the city.
We are very grateful for your help. We need your blood. We will be able to take a limited number here, but it may take some time. Our priority is obviously taking care of the victim.
4 to 6 hour wait, right hand side line.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign up. You can go in here and when they're putting your names in, and we'll call you back in a day or two.
St. Vincent's Hospital in the village, one of the closest trauma centres to the Twin Towers. The staff were waiting outside, and the press were gathering opposite. They were all expecting a stream of victims. None too many arrived. There were few survivors after the towers collapsed. These survivors had walked at least 2 miles from the towers. This area was soon to become known as Ground Zero. Aside from bicycles, scooters, and rollerblades, walking was the one sure way to get around town. People gathered around street-side TVs for snippets of news. It's as if it was the only television in town. The press, like hawks, preyed on the victims to get their stories on the air. Nonetheless, they were duty-bound.
Absolute
horror. It was horror.
And when you look back there, what would be the World Trade Center?
Devastating. I can't even look back. My 6-year-old just last week asked my husband and I to take him to the observation deck, and it's gone. And you know what? Americans will persevere, and I don't think that we'll stoop to the level of these zealot terrorist pigs.
Kill the Middle East before they kill you!
I occasionally glanced at the Empire State Building. I was reassured to see that it was still standing. I feared that the city would have been mortally wounded had it been destroyed. It could have been a target. The backdrop of the clear blue sky sadly contrasted with the devastation downtown. But there it was, standing firm. Once again, the tallest building in the city. A symbol of the city's fortitude, and a symbol of the way of life of millions of Americans. Public transport was at a standstill. The whole island was sealed off. Yet another sight unseen. F-15s on patrol over the city. After a vain trek uptown to give blood, I was back in the hood. It was already the afternoon. The shock of the day and the gamut of incomprehensible sights and sounds had completely distorted all sense of time. The vacant avenues, normally jammed with traffic, uncanny. Soon, night fell. The St. Vincent's staff, still waiting. Still watched by the battalion of press. Still, few survivors had arrived. That evening along the West Side Highway, many volunteer services from counties outside of Manhattan lined up to help. Some of these volunteers had traveled for hours to get here, their actions reflecting the will of most. I was shocked to see police with assault rifles. Homeward bound on this cataclysmic summer's day. A shocking calm had descended the city, the bizarreness unrelenting. And for the first time in a garden nearby, I heard crickets. The beautiful calm cloaked the trauma within.
From the first time I ever came into New York City, and my creepy old uncle pointed them out to me from Newark Airport and said, "Those are the tombstones of New York City."
I feel sorry for the people, man. We got caught in that, boy. Can you imagine?
No, they picked up all the body parts yesterday.
Well, Pearl Harbor was terrible. This was worse. This was the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
The first thing that occurred to me, because I was in New York when a plane hit the Empire State Building, and I thought it was an accident, you know, a light plane going into, and I said, well, I have no morbid curiosity. I would read about it later, you know, but then all my friends called me from all over the country. And I came down here, and there are hundreds of people out here. Yeah, it was just incredible.
Wednesday, September 12. The resolve of the St. Vincent's staff still evident. The press still waiting for the big story. there was so little action that they had begun to interview each other. Nearby, on 11th Street, hundreds lined up for word of survivors or the missing.
I was 5 blocks away when it happened. I mean, I saw the airplane crash into the building. I saw the explosion.
We saw the plane, the underbelly of the plane directly above us.
We all looked at each other, you know, none of us could believe what we just saw.
I saw people falling out of the building.
There's this just appalling picture of a man falling.
I'm really upset, and it's a shock. You know, you look over here and you don't see it anymore.
I saw the plane coming in, and I thought, boy, that's very close to the building. And then it didn't emerge. A fireball emerged, but it took me time for that to register.
It was like in the movies when you see that. I couldn't even come to it for a time to say this is real. This is really happening.
Someone said on the television that was pretty clear. Everyone's like pretty just numb, and your mind can't really wrap around it. It's too big. It's too incomprehensible.
I feel like Montana right now is a village. It's weird without these two big buildings.
Keep thinking this is not the end. I'm thinking like it's going to happen again. It is a matter of when. You know, how many more days is left until they hit us again.
Back on 6th Avenue, and smoke had engulfed the area. It smelt toxic. There was a rush on masks.
How's this picture grab you? Hanging out the side of the fucking building before it blew up. And I got better than that.
What's that? Right, that's another person.
Yeah, I got lots of people. I took that with a 2,000 millimeter lens from the roof. You want to see a shot? No one will fucking listen to me. Here's a little better picture of that one, but I got another one in here.
Look at that. That is a person.
Yeah, I got all kinds of shots.
Let me see.
I live right across the street. How's this picture grab you?
It's that.
I got video that's even better than that. I got the fucking thing blowing up on video. Were you there on the roof?
No.
Well, guess who was? Probably even recognize this
Are you
girl.
freelance or are you?
No, I'm not anything. I'm just a guy with a 2,000 millimeter lens and a tripod that shoots out his window when he gets the chance. I got rolls of this stuff. All right, I'll take it home.
A man who worked on one of the top floors of the World Trade Center saw that he was trapped. He telephoned his wife. He said he wanted to say goodbye. He wanted to remember that he loved her and loved their children. They are 1 and 3 years old.
Within hours of the attacks, pictures of the missing were beginning to show up on telephone poles, shop walls, and windows. The pictures of the missing were, and still are, a constant reminder of the magnitude of this atrocity. People talk about 6 degrees of separation. In this city, it's now down to 1 or 2. People are still going to funerals and memorial services. Sympathy cards were sold out.
Very, 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 very upset and sad. You know, it's not the same city. It's just somewhere else. I'm coming from a different country, from Israel, and we experience that all the time. You know, and seeing it here, it's unbelievable because you think, you know, then you wonder where's your home.
After the shock wears off, I think people will be more angry, and I think that it'll
I think we'll just start rebuilding.
I think they're going to handle it really, really well. 35,000 people that came yesterday to donate blood shows you how they're handling it.
Candlelit vigils manifested all around town, especially at fire stations. This local station on West 10th Street was a symbol of the tragedy. Over 300 firefighters were killed, like townsfolk gone forever. Washington Square, like Union Square, became centers for vigils. The Washington Monument, now a shrine, formed a backdrop for impromptu performances by street celebrities.
The most troubling is like the reasons why it happened in the first place. I have pretty clear opinions that, you know, the attack happened. It didn't happen out of anywhere. I mean, it's a result of America's foreign policy. The government's not going to be able to solve this because they're part of the problem that created this thing. So it's like Einstein said that, the same, you know, mental activity that created a problem cannot solve it. So the American people and the people of the world have to do something about peace. They can't just hunt these folks down and expect it to go away. I'm not a big flag waver, but I think it's more about the American people than the government.
As always, crisis unifies communities and countries. This tragedy was no exception. Unabashed patriotism sprang from the closet. Not since Pearl Harbor had the country become so unified, and patriotism flowed. Flags appeared everywhere. And the media. They are the patriotic bandwagon, complete with jingoistic catchphrases to keep the public tuned in. It was astonishing. One network had background graphics that featured a continuous replay of the planes exploding into the towers. And the palette du jour? Red, white and blue. The NBC Peacock had red, white and blue feathers. And the government? The Wild West was revived. Wanted posters of bin Laden and his posse were officially released. George Bush was talking about smoking them out. I felt like I was watching a movie. The war rhetoric seems untempered, the war glorification, appears unadulterated. Is it not possible to have the facts without the embellishments? Is there any humility? And I wonder of the government's real agenda.
Could I say something? Yes. I would like to make a comment. Why do you think this happened? A lot of people don't understand. The government of the United States, they let in monsters, Nazis, fascists. They let people in this country who have killed thousands of people in their country. From Haiti, from Russia, from Kosovo. They let people in this country who are dictators and murderers. So how can this be shocking? The point I'm trying to say is the people feel on other countries that America is a great Satan, as they call it under Khomeini. America is a great Satan. That's why they consider themselves to be heroes. They're not bad guys. They are heroes. They brought down the towers of Babylon. Those was the towers of Babylon. That's how they feel. They brought down the towers of sin. They're fanatics. Could you help us out? The point I'm trying to say is this. What the hell is going on in New York City? Well, I can tell you what's going on. Great balls of fire. Whole lot of shaking going on. And a whole lot of shaking. Whole lot of shaking going on. All right.
You got thousands of workers down there digging anything out they can by hand. You know, that's all anybody's trying to do. That's all they could get in. They got a lot of heavy equipment down there that's trying to get through the rubble, but the fires are still going on. There's no electricity. There's no water. I just pray to God one of my old partners wasn't in that building when it went down. Because we think he was. Country and city, retribution. Some sons of bitches are going to pay for this. Hope they all die.
A few days later, when George Bush was in town, the fighters circled for hours. The sound of a jet overhead will never have the same feeling again. That sound now instills a moment of fear. It's the same with sirens. No longer will they just be an everyday sound. They will be an ever-present reminder of the horrors of that day, and will now conjure up paranoid fears of another terrorist act. Other city sounds can be startling also, but they're relatively harmless compared to a 767 piloted by the new kamikazes. The word kamikaze is derived from the term divine wind. The terrorists think they carried out a divine act against an evil empire. I wonder who's divine and who's evil. I wonder when this madness will ever end. I wonder if the killing will ever stop. In an instant, the world has once more changed forever, and the unthinkable became fact. Epilogue. There is a notion that as the human race rides the continuum of time, we will become more civilized, perhaps more altruistic. I would have hoped by the 21st century we would have taken great strides to achieve this. I thought of 2001 and Arthur C. Clarke. That ideal now seems further away than ever.